and thank you for taking an interest in my Reteach It project. My name is Hannah Stewart, and throughout my family and cultural diversity class at Arizona State University, the topic I felt most connected to were the struggles of Black women and Black families. After a significant amount of deep dive research on the struggles and strengths of Black families, I felt that they would be best represented through an art project. I don't consider myself an artist, but I was happy to devote a few hours putting my fullest effort in an attempt to share not only my own experience, but what I felt was the experience of Black people across America. And the two subjects I wanted to convey the most throughout this mural were the terms of change and neglect. You'll notice that this figure is intentionally androgynous because these are elements that I feel both men and women experience within the African American community. We are continually disrespected and unprotected by America's institutions as well as our fellow citizens, and we have an incredible ability to remain strong despite that. And if I want this to convey anything, I want it to convey that ability to stay strong. Something that may have been hard to decipher were those strange little flowers circling the head. This was meant to be a dandelion in lieu of an afro or natural hair. It might be on the nose, but dandelions actually symbolize change, and that is something that we have very directly been forced to change. And I personally went through this. I used to have big, beautiful afro that I was continually pressured to pull back. And this is because Black men and women in America continually face pressure to act white, talk white, and look white. Big lips are considered to be unattractive. Big noses considered to be unattractive. Our hair is seen as messy. And if we talk in AAVE, that is African American Vernacular English, a completely valid and real form of English language, we are seen as dumber. When I changed my hair from this to shaving it off and having a wig, the way people treated me changed drastically. I was asked out a lot more by guys. I was treated significantly more kindly. It became a lot easier to find jobs and just generally be treated with respect. And I know that it's not in my head because when I take the wig off again and I go back to showing my natural hair, which very different, I am once again treated worse by cops, by the people around me, even by people that I would have considered friends. We face this pressure, as I said, to just look more white, to be seen as attractive, to be taken seriously. And a lot of people think that racism isn't a problem for us. It's just an occasional fear if we get pulled over by a cop, but it's constant. It never goes away. I feel it when in the morning I have to contour my nose for 5 minutes so it looks more narrow, or it looks more white. I feel it when I have to put that wig on, and I feel it when I go into a job interview and I see white people surrounding me, and I realize, okay, I'm gonna have to try 10 times harder in order to stand out because I'm going to walk in and they're gonna see me as less. So, how does this connect to Black family life? We are less likely to get married because we face higher incarceration rates with Black men, and white men see us as less attractive. They don't want to marry us. This goes the same for men of other races. And all of this culminates in more Black families with single mothers, lacking father figures, and having to try harder. This also impacts the beauty and romantic spheres of a Black person's life. As you can see here, it's gotten better over time, but not significantly. There is still a 10% prejudice. I mean, this is just the people who would admit to it, against dating Black people, which connects again right back to those low marriage rates. And again, we see it here. more single mothers and single fathers, more likely to be in poverty, less likely to get degrees, which we'll get into with neglect. This is what the chains were meant to show. Not only were they holding us back, they were actively hurting us, which was the purpose of the spikes along the chains. It's harder for us to get jobs. It's harder for us to become economically stable. And even if we change our outward appearance, there's so many other things that are expected us to change that just aren't realistic, and it's unfair to ask in the first place. And yet we have to even have a chance of being able to integrate into white society. We see that here with this graphic. We're more likely to be poor, more likely to go to jail, even a shorter life expectancy. Everything is working against us very actively. And that takes us back to this graphic. It's across all institutions. We're less likely to receive proper health care. We're less likely to receive help from the government. Even academic institutions, it's less likely for us to get degrees and graduate. It's simply harder for us. And I would like to end this presentation by asking, now that you've been lectured at and ranted at for a few minutes, is there anything you would add to this mural that you feel that I missed? Maybe there's some huge aspects of the Black identity I absolutely should have included and portrayed and just did not think of. I would also love to know how many of our struggles overlap with your own. How would you change this to display your own culture? How would you represent your struggles? And finally, I would like to thank you for taking the time to watch my presentation and invite you to look at the link for my slideshow below. Because as you can see, I had lots of fun quotes here, not enough time to read through them all. And you can find deep dives on all this information across each of these very eye-opening articles. So once again, thank you for watching, and please make an effort to educate.